Missed an episode of your favorite podcast? Choose from over a decade of content in our archives, not just the latest episode. All free at GCNlive.com.
What is up? Greetings. And welcome to The Bright Side, your nutritional program dedicated to the understanding of the vast world of nutritional supplementation. I am your host, Pharmacist Ben, nutritional pharmacist from Boulder, Colorado. I specialize in using nutritional supplements where other healthcare practitioners use toxic pharmaceutical drugs and deadly medical procedures. If you suspect that there are natural nutritional roads to your vitality and to your well-being and to addressing your health challenges, whatever they may be, but you don't know where to begin, you have come to the right place. As you listen to The Bright Side every day, you are more and more knowledgeable, you are more and more in control of your body, and you know you can overcome any health issue. That is why we are here every day on The Bright Side, helping clear up the sometimes confusing world of nutrition and nutritional supplementation. Over the last 26 years of practicing pharmacy, I have seen drug-free recoveries from diabetes and hypertension and obesity and all manner of skin diseases, psoriasis, acne, rosacea, eczema, digestive ailments, autoimmune issues, recoveries that by the standards of the modern medical model can only be called a miracle, but what is in the world of the body, what is in the world of biology, standard operating procedure, because the human biological system is a healing system. It's a regenerating system. It is designed divinely to heal and renew itself on a moment-to-moment basis. And while it may seem like a miracle to some folks, this renewing system is really just the way the body works. If you have questions about health or nutrition or prescription drugs, we welcome your phone calls on The Bright Side at 866-582-9933. That's 866-582-9933. If you have questions about the longevity products, health conditions, if you want to help a friend get off their medications and get on a good nutritional supplement program, if you have a success story you'd like to share, or if you just want to contribute to the conversation, our number is 866-582-9933, 866-582-9933. If you want to learn more about the longevity products or purchase any of the products that you hear us talk about or advertised on The Bright Side, you can go to our website, brightsideben.com. Take a look at the shopping cart with all the longevity products, including the Beyond Tangy Tangerine multivitamin mineral complex powder that you add to water and drink. It's a wonderful source of the B complex and vitamin C and minerals and your fatty nutrients, D, E, A, and K. It's especially important for folks who have digestive issues. The liquid format allows the nutrients to go right to work, and most folks will notice results within 1 or 2 doses. It'll cost you $50 a canister, and it will be the best $50 you spend from a nutritional standpoint that you can spend from a nutritional standpoint. $50 a canister for the Beyond Tangy Tangerine. It's all up at brightsideben.com. There's also a Join Now link that you can click on the upper left-hand corner of the page if you want to make some money selling longevity products or just join me in my mission to educate the world about the importance of nutritional supplementation. You can also call the Bright Side Ben phone team at 866-735-2470. That's 866-735-2470. Okay, thanks so much for joining us on The Bright Side. Appreciate you being here. I want to continue talking about the over-the-counter steroid hormones, the OTC steroid hormones. Perhaps more appropriately, we should call them pro-hormones or pre-hormones. These things, while not nutritional supplements per se, are turned into hormones in the body, and they can be very, very helpful for folks dealing with immune issues, with stress, with anxiety issues, with autoimmune problems, or just to help reduce the general signs and symptoms that are associated with aging. We spent a lot of time last week and a little bit yesterday talking about progesterone and DHEA. Today I want to talk about a third hormone substance that's available over the counter that, like progesterone and like DHEA, is available over the counter, and like progesterone and like DHEA, this stuff comes from, it's derived from cholesterol. Tomorrow we're going to be talking, and for the next few days afterwards, we're going to be talking about cholesterol. This whole idea of cholesterol and derivation from cholesterol, substances that come from cholesterol, is extremely important to understand. And when you really understand the critical nature of cholesterol as a raw material building block, you will understand how absolutely insane and stupid and ignorant it is to take a poison drug to stop your body from making this very, very important substance. Cholesterol is a raw material compound. It's extremely important. And especially in the light of this statin mania that medical professionals seem to be afflicted with, we're going to be spending a lot of time talking about cholesterol and its very important role in maintaining the health of the body for the next couple of days after today. For now, I want to point out just that these 3 easy-to-use, inexpensive, easy to obtain growth and repair fountain of youth substances, progesterone, DHEA, and pregnenolone, which we'll be talking about today, are all derived from cholesterol. All right, so this third hormone that I'm going to talk about, or prohormone or pre-hormone, is called pregnenolone. Like progesterone and like DHEA, it is completely non-toxic. You can't OD on it, although, as I said yesterday, these materials are not nutritional supplements. They are hormonal. So when you're dosing with them, you want to stay on as low a dose as possible, as low a dose as you need. With progesterone, for example, you want to be at around 25 to 100 milligrams a day. With DHEA, maybe 10 to 50 milligrams a day, and with pregnenolone, maybe 50 to 100 milligrams a day. And by the way, pregnenolone is spelled Pregnenolone, pregnenolone. And these doses, by the way, are all approximate doses, and you're going to have to see what works best for you. And to do it right, you may want to actually have somebody test your blood levels to see where you're at, especially if you've been taking these substances for a while. If you go into a little bit of drowsiness with progesterone and pregnenolone, or if you start to break out when you're taking DHEA, or if your skin gets a little bit oily, you may notice also, if you're taking too much, that you got a little bit of hair loss or voice deepening. If you have any of these symptoms, it's time to back off on these substances. That having been said, in my opinion, the possibility that you might take too much should not outweigh the tremendous benefits that you can get from these substances, these pro-hormone, pre-hormone materials. All right, so let's talk a little bit about pregnenolone. The scientific community has known about pregnenolone since the 1940s, when a guy named Hans Selye, S-E-L-Y-E, Hans Selye, first started researching and writing about pregnenolone as a useful substance for treating stress-related health issues. Hans Selye was one of the most important medical researchers of all times, a brilliant endocrinologist. He wrote a whole bunch of textbooks, medical textbooks about hormones and about endocrinology. He's considered to be the father of the fight or flight stress response theory, the association, the idea that stresses can be associated with degenerative disease. Before Hans Selye came up with this idea in the 1940s, nobody had thought that there was a connection between stress and degenerative disease. That may seem kind of odd. Today, everybody seems to know that, hey, yeah, if you have a lot of stress going on in your life, that's not a good thing, and that can result in the breakdown of the body. But back in the 1940s, nobody really thought about that. Hans Selye was the first guy to come up with this idea that there was a link between stress and degeneration. The technical name for his theory was the general adaptation syndrome, and it's based on his findings that stress is responsible for chemical changes in the body that ultimately lead to the body breaking down. Degenerative disease. That's what it means. Degenerative disease is the body breaking down. Today, this is common knowledge, but in the 1930s and 1940s, when Selye was developing his idea, this notion was unheard of and somewhat radical. One of Selye's main concepts, one of his main ideas, was that stresses, which are basically survival threats, or at least perceived survival threats, the body thinks that its life is at stake. One of Selye's main concepts was that these stresses create permanent or semi-permanent biochemical changes in the body that outlast the length of time that the stress is taking place in. In other words, the changes in the body continue even after the stress goes away. The effects of the biochemical changes last longer than the stresses themselves. In Selye's words, quote, "Every stress leaves an indelible scar, and the organism pays for its survival after a stressful situation by becoming a little older," unquote. This was the main tenet of Selye's idea, the general adaptation syndrome. Selye said that the body likes to maintain a stable state, and when some kind of destabilizing event occurs or destabilizing experience hits, the body will go through 3 distinct phases as it attempts to regain its stability. First, you have your alarm phase, which is where your body freaks out and mobilized it begins to mobilize resources to get it into the second stage, which is the resistance stage, and this is where the body is supposed to restabilize itself and the problem gets resolved. However, according to Cellier, there's a third stage, and I'll tell you what I mean by that and the implications of that third stage when we come back from our break. I'm Pharmacist Ben. You're listening to The Bright Side, and we'll be back right after this.
I had tried everything. I'd cut back the amount of food I was eating. I was lifting weights and jogging, but nothing was working. My body was literally starving for minerals and trace elements as well as key vitamins. And as soon as I had that, I immediately could eat half of what I was eating previously and be satisfied. Now, there are hundreds of great products at InfoWarsTeam.com, but I want to point out the three that have helped me lose 37 pounds in just 2 months. Products like Beyond Tangy Tangerine, Pollen Burst, and Rebound. When I started taking the Tangy Tangerine and other products every day, I lost more than 37 pounds in just 2 months. Now that's results. I want to challenge my listeners to go to InfoWarsTeam.com and to order just 3 of their products, and you will see the changes in the way you look, feel, and in your appetite almost immediately. Start your journey to health and wellness today. InfoWarsTeam.com.
Mike Stenerson for Midas Resources. At no time in history have precious metals been more important, certainly not in my 22 years in the industry. The dollar has lost over 90% of its value in the last 60 years. No fiat currency has ever survived the government printing presses. Ours is not immune. The time is now to be proactive. 1-800-686-2237, extension 116. Anything tied to the dollar is at risk. CDs, annuities, 401ks, IRAs, stocks, bonds, you name it, so decide. Do you want to leave a legacy of wealth or debt for your family? The choice is yours. Call me at 1-800-686-2237, extension 116. That's 1-800-686-2237, extension 116. Be proactive, not reactive. Call 1-800-686-2237, extension 116.
Time waits for no one. That's why you should hurry to not miss the Freeze Dry Guy's end-of-year case lot sale. Go to freezedryguy.com or call 866-404-3663 to receive 20 to 25% off Mountain House freeze-dried foods. Mountain House, the gold standard in long-term storage products, include real freeze-dried meats, entrees, eggs, fruits, and vegetables. Yes, 20 to 25% off now. Also receive 30% off other selected Mountain House foods and receive 30% off selected Packaway brand dehydrated foods. Just call 866-404-3663 and ask for the Freeze Dry Guy. Plus long-range patrol ration eggs and ham at superb discounts. But these are extremely hard to find and nearly gone, so call today. Ask about our LRP ice cream bars too. Some items limited to stock on hand. And remember, the Freeze Dry Guy pays for shipping to your door within the lower 48 states. Order now. Don't miss out on the Freeze Dry Guy's end-of-year case lot sale. Call 866-404-3663 or visit freezedryguy.com.
This alert just came in. This special announcement is for business owners and leaders of organizations who've been waiting for the right time to build. General Steel has made it impossible to wait any longer with rock-bottom prices that could save you thousands. That's right, General Steel, America's leader in pre-engineered structures, is offering buildings at prices you will never see again. Don't miss these prices. A 50 by 100 for $35,000. You heard right. That's 5,000 square feet for $35,000. Manufacturers, if you need a larger building, try a 100 by 100 commercial building for $129,000. You can't afford to rent with these prices. Imagine a 70 by 100-foot church building for under $69,000. With the economy improving and interest rates still at historic lows, you can't afford to wait. So call 866-91-STEEL. Lock in your price now. Call 866-91-STEEL. That's 866-917-8335.
Free from the shackles of corporate America, we're the place for independent thinkers. GCN.
Welcome back to the bright side. I am Pharmacist Ben. Our number today is 866-582-9933. We do have a couple lines open for you. Don't wait till the last minute to get on board because the lines fill up fast. If you've got anything you want to talk about, if you've got questions about health, nutrition, prescription drugs, if you want to talk about the longevity products, 866-582-9933 is our number. You can always go to our website, brightsideben.com, and take a look at the shopping cart with all the longevity products up there, or you can click on the Join Now link on the upper left.